And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition here of the WardiTV Monday. WardiTV Monday number 58, your weekly dose of all things Wardy StarCraft. I'm your host, VIP, with you and joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, welcome, one and all. Welcome to a replay cast. Usually we would have covered this live, but if you recall, over the past couple of weeks, due to daylight savings happening over in Europe, this event does start very late. Does start very late, so it isn't necessarily as viable for us to cover this event live anymore. So as a result, we are going to be covering this via replays on a weekly basis. On a weekly basis here, we'll be setting aside another time slot, another day in the week to cover the replays of the Monday tournament of the WardiTV Monday. That's the goal. That's the plan. That is the plan. But for the time being, we're jumping into our first series of the broadcast. We're jumping into the quarterfinals, and I was shocked to see this player here make it and actually compete in an online tournament. Elazer, for those who do not know, he has been very inactive in StarCraft, very inactive. He's been streaming and competing and playing a lot of Age of Empires, 4 specifically, to the point where, if you recall, we did a report on this during the podcast, was it a month, 2 months ago at this point? But Elazer did leave Team Liquid. He did leave Team Liquid. He is now teamless, and part of that we feel is because he stopped competing in StarCraft, right? And I don't think Team Liquid are necessarily as interested in investing into Age of Empires at the moment, at least. So that is a bit of a shame. Which is why I'm surprised to see Elazer back. Surprised to see him back. The first time in a long time in a WardiTV Open Cup. So happy to see Elazer return, and we'll see how he compares to MaxPax. Oh boy. I mean, covering any kind of Zerg player early on in a tournament, we do appreciate for sure, 100%. Game 1 is going to be on Persephone. We'll jump on in. Oh. Let's go. Also, bienvenidos to one and all in the chat. Bienvenidos, papi. Salensbar, Icons, La Grasta as well. Slow Joe, bienvenidos, as we are getting into our first series and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Persephone. We have the Danish Protoss player, we have the blue Protoss, representing Storm Gaming, it is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Polish Zerg player, we have the orange Zerg representing himself. As mentioned, is currently teamless, it is Elazer. Here we go. Okay, and again, it's great to see Elazer return to the game. He is back. How in form is he is the big question. We're here to find out. We're here to find out here as Elazer does go for his standard hatch gas pool. Likewise, welcome to Persephone. One of the more quote-unquote middle-of-the-road maps in the map pool currently. Not as large as a map like Tokamak or Maganatha, not as small as a map like Pylon either. So we'll see how we do approach this. What I will say when it comes to Persephone, it is known to very easily cut the map in half and embrace a longer and later game. I don't know if I can speak too much on how Elazer has been approaching StarCraft recently. Obviously, the last time we covered Elazer's matches was back during the, I almost said esports tournament, during the House of Galactic Battle, during the last big offline event in Poland. And Elazer, he was looking a little bit rough around the edges, if you recall. He, was looking a little bit rough. I believe he did go down to, it was either Geralt or Christiana earlier in the tournament. And Elazer, he was having a bit of a harder time. He was actually being a little bit more assertive and aggressive, even though I feel like historically he's been known for macro games, right? So longer standard macro games was his go-to for quite some time. It feels like that has changed since then, but again, it's been a couple of months since the House Galactic Battle, so we'll see. We'll see what the plan is going to be. So now do we have Elazer picking in? Getting read on what's going on is going to be a standard opener out of MaxPax. We expect Stargate into a third base, Oracle into +1 and Blink. MaxPax, he does mix it up from time to time and does hide a tech and go into Glaive Adepts, for example, or he may even delay his Forge and go for more committed Blinkstalker aggression instead. There are times where he does commit or deviate away from standard play. It's a little bit rarer, but it does happen from time to time. It does happen. From the side of Elazer, if he has been laddering as of late, we'll see if he has been playing standard and meta. We'll see if he goes for an Eva Chamber opener himself, or if he does go for something more committed into a Roach Warren, in towards no upgrades, and in towards, say, like a German Taxi, for example. Again, historically, Elazer, he was known for just a heavy droning, cutting corners. He'd be the kind of player that would lose like 15 drones at the start of the game, but he'd still be ahead in workers. Like, it'd be crazy. He'd often be greedy. But there's a reason why I said earlier that like he's been more aggressive in recent months and in recent years. Like, he's kind of stepped away from that hyper greedy style just because he was being punished so much for it, and players did kind of like quote unquote figure him out. So we'll see what kind of form he's in now. Kind of play he goes for. Oh. Attempt to shade away. Behind this, spores are being thrown down, getting ready for said Oracle play. Here we go. That's the Oracle's being chronoed. First one is being sent across the map. Looking at our queens here, we only have 3 queens so far. The Oracle does hit the main. And we're going for a very fast lair. Okay. At 3:45 lair timing, the Oracle does confirm the lair timing though. Ay, ay, ay. Now with the fast lair, with a lair this fast, this quick, we're getting a second gas geyser. This could be for an all-in. This could be for, say, a Nidus-based all-in, like Ling Queen Nidus all-in. But the Queen count is a little bit lower. We're still droning up as well. This could be for a fast Spire into Mutaplay. That would be crazy, but hey, Mutaplay is more viable in the latest patch. We'll see if we get extra gas geysers. Oh, we have the answer. Joblord, all in. It is going to be a German taxi. So a German taxi here out of Elazer, he's going all in. Again, this is something that he's been doing a lot more of as of late, as you mentioned, a lot more all-ins, a lot more aggressive builds. The scary thing though is that MaxPax he saw, right? He saw the lair, and in his mind, he must be crossing up, or he must be thinking about the idea of something like a German taxi. Behind this is going for extra gateways, early blink, later forge here, so he's gonna have warp ins. He can give up on the third base. He can choose to just focus on natural base defense. Let's go. So, break in. Picking up Zerglings. And now Elazer, he is droning. He cancels. Okay. The fake out here. He does finish the lair. He does finish Overlord speed even, but he does cancel the Roach War, and he starts up a Hydrogen after MaxPax did pull away. Okay, okay. So a bit of a fake out here by Elazer. I do like this, considering that he got scouted, of course. Does make sense. Fourth base at scene, that's a big tell. Elazer, he's droning heavily, he's taking more hatcheries back behind this. And MaxPax, he's not overreacting. He didn't throw down like a wall of shield batteries, a wall of cannons. Like, no, remember, he's still getting a forge, still getting +1, but it is late, right? It's delayed forge, delayed +1. He's moving out with his stalkers. Blink is soon to finish. MaxPax applying pressure, and he's aware of the fourth base. He could target the fourth or find damage at the third. Let's go. Let's go. So let's move out. Oh, we have Master Ling that's being produced. It's going to be Ling Hydra or Ling main Hydra eventually. And so far, that's a lot of Lings. The Oracles are at support, and we're here to deny the fourth. And MaxPax, he blinks in, gets on the fourth base, and the fourth should go down. Nice cancellation. Elazer expanding on the left-hand side, a double expanding. Again, he needs a fourth base. It's behind this, switching into charge, focusing on this gateway army, eventually into splash damage, eventually. There's that storm. There's that Temple Archives. Oh, Stasis goes off. Nice Stasis. Stasis trap does connect. Link's going to be going down. Ooh, the second Stasis a little bit like that's what the... Yeah, the second Stasis doesn't connect here. Stalker's getting caught out. Nice catch here from Elazer. Very nice. MaxPax has to get the hell out of here. Back up fourth base is scouted. And MaxPax from here should back off, should race back home and take a more defensive stance. As Elazer, he's gaining map control. He's cutting workers at a 3-base saturation and 0 drones here at the fourth, so cutting workers at 66. He's building up his main Hydra. We'll see if he ever does decide to drone up, otherwise he's going for a 3-base all-in. Zelda get eyes on the 5th base. Oracles move in, and the Oracles, they will... Oh, not quite check the mineral line. Sees the army, he doesn't check. And Elazer's all in. So we have confirmation. He's going for a 3-base all in. Elazer's committing back at home. Storm is not yet done. Without Storm, this is going to be a tough hold. It's going to be a very tough hold here. Banelings are rolling in. Yes, Storm isn't done. The Banelings are getting to the middle line. Massive connections. And Aprobes are going to be going down. This base should fall. Yeah, without Storm, there is no defense. And with that Elazer, he can keep going. Can't keep pushing. Storm is done in 5 seconds. Even then, there's so many Stalkers. And he's rolling in. Nice Storm. And nice Storm with the Banelings. Banelings just shut down. Bit of friendly fire there. Jesus. He does force some friendly fire. Elazer still rallying across the map. 30 more leagues on the way. Oh, the high Templar. Oh, my God. Yeah, Templar goes down. And Elazer, he's still not joining. Still not joining up. Has not made a join in quite some time. Nice round with the Lings. Takes down a High Templar. And the Natural's open. Here the Natural's open. Elazer still not droning, still committing, still doubling down. And where are the Storms? We mentioned earlier that without Storm, there's no defense, and again, there's no High Templar left. No High Templar, 0 Storms. Elazer, he should have break MaxPax here. Banelings a rush on past. They break through the side defense, catching up most of the high-tech units. 1 Storm lands. Elazer has done it, and again, like a really quirky start to the game here, being very flexible as well, which I do appreciate. Threatening a German taxi and then switching and canceling the Roach and switching the Hydras. GG gets called, and the Elazer, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, a very flexible start here out of Elazer. MaxPax having a harder time keeping up. But I will say the big thing that was missing, of course, from MaxPax 1, he got caught out on the map when it came to his Stalkers. He did bleed out a lot of Stalkers, and that did slow him down. On top of that, late Storm. Storm was late, straight up. Late Templar Archives, late Storm, and the later Storm was, of course, the more vulnerable he was to an all-in. Also, he did not confirm said all-in either. He wasn't quite able to confirm. He saw the army moving out, but again, he did have a bit of a lack of setup at his expansion when it came to static defense. GG. GG, well played. MaxPax caught with his pants down. The pants were down, and now we're getting to game number 2, and we'll see if Elazer can keep this up. Now, my concern here is that after the first game, MaxPax will most likely be playing extra safe, and Elazer's going to have to take a different approach. But we'll see. We shall see. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss. For System Gaming, it is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the orange Zerg player. With the orange Zerg player, the Polish Zerg leading the series 1-0. It is Elazer. We go. As from here, we're getting into game number 2. Remember, last game, Elazer did begin with a 340 lair timing, a very early lair, which didn't amount to anything. We could see him go back to that. We could see him go for the early lair and actually make use of it this time, especially if it goes unscouted. But once again, it's difficult to really pull that off just because the early Oracle harass and the Oracle vision and scouting that is provided to MaxPax, so we'll see what Elazer goes for. I should also say welcome one and all to Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock is one of the more aggressive maps in the map pool. Does have a relatively direct rush distance across the map as well. Some exposed third bases, exposed natural bases. I would say the all-ins are more favored on Ruby Rock. So if we were to go for another all-in, it could hit even harder here in game 2 on Ruby Rock. So we'll see. We'll see for now. Hatch gas spool, standard opener out of Elazer, and we'll see how he spends his gas. Go. So yes, that Baba said, in the chat, quite the defense from Max, considering how vulnerable he was at the start. Yeah, like once High Templar were available, once Storm was available, like you saw that MaxPax could somewhat hold his own, at least until he ran out of Storms. But it also shows like how imperative it was to be able to get Storm ready for that defense. As without it, he really only had some gateway units and a gateway army, and was much more vulnerable. But here we go. Getting into that next game. Think speed is on the way, does pull out of gas. We'll see if he does ever pull in a little bit earlier. We'll try to keep up with that. So now we have a standard opener out of MaxPax. Again, when it comes to the rush distance, when we say that it's a little bit more direct, referring here specifically to the main attack path through the center, there are some side blockers that does help when it comes to slowing down a push and slowing down an army and engaging with an all-in. So the side blockers do help, and there's also other areas, other ramps coming up into this area, so you can attempt surrounds somewhat here. Of course, you're still on an elevated position, so you still have the advantage as the defending player on top of said ramp, and again, it leads directly into that third base with a much more open entrance into the third. Very open entrance here towards the left hand side. Likewise, a very open entrance in between the bases as well. So we have seen many an all-in hit and strike either the natural or the third. It can be very, very difficult to defend. We have seen some longer games on this map when players opt to play macro. We'll see. MaxPax is getting his second gateway. The first Oracle does move out across the map. The spores are on the way. And we do have our queens ready. We have 2 queens here at the natural, 1 queen in the main. So far, so good. And once again, yeah, it's going to be this is a little bit later, but still very early. This is around a 3:55 layer timing. I think last game it was around 3:40. But still very early there. Adepts say shade in, they scout. They scout the early there. Oracle from behind. Drone's going to be falling. Nice damage so far, getting 4. Oh, 5? Oh, God. 5 drones. 6? 6 drones go down. Ay, ay, ay. That should not have happened. That is insane damage for only 2 adepts. With that, Elazer's economy is going to be crippled early on. Lings, they go for a counterattack. Oracle does dip back in, and we'll see what is done with this lair. Last game, we went into Overlord speed with a Roach Warren, but then we cancelled, right? We deviated away from the German taxi. Did we commit this time? Lings, they get across the map. There's no Oracle to defend. Roach Warren has been thrown down. There is sun. No mining gas. Now, the other thing about this style here, I mean, again, Lady Diva Chamber for +1 melee if you did want to go into Ling Hydra into a longer macro game. So, late upgrades here for Elazer. Lair is done. Oracle's being turned away. We're not doing anything with the Lair yet. Is this just mind games? He cancels. it's the same build. Just like last time, he cancels the Roach Warren. He starts up Hydroden. The one difference between this game and the previous game is that this time he does not research Overlord speed. Last game he did, which was indicative of a German taxi, but this time he doesn't even bother. So does not research Overlord speed. More gases are being taken. 5 gases already here. That's a heavy gas count this early on for Mass Hydra. And I feel like this needs to be another 3-base all-in. But we're bleeding out too much. 6 drones going down, 12 in total. Unlike last game, Elazer's economy is crippled. Does lose so much early on. And this is going to slow him down. This is going to give him more time. And do you see what I see? Very fast Storm. This is MaxPax adapting after game 1. When we spoke about it, Storm was late straight up. It was just late last game. Remember, he got Storm after Blink and after Charge, right? He got it after Charge was researched. So really, really late Storm last game. This time, insanely early, being safe. And the reason for this, he saw the fast lair, right? He saw the fast lair, he knows that something is wrong, and he's reading this as Hydra Tech, and he saw it. With the Adepts, he did scout, he did confirm the Hydras, he knows. So a much cleaner reaction here from MaxPax. He will lose the Oracle. He, of course, has full confirmation of the Hydras. And Elazer has to make a choice, and he does. He's droning. So we spoke earlier how flexible Elazer is with this build, and I do like this a lot more. So Elazer, he's droning up, he's double expanding, and he's getting in towards Hive Tech. Infestation bit's on the way. He drones up to 74. So even though he rushed into early Hydras, because he got scouted and because of the early damage, he believes that the all-in is going to be too weak. He believes it will not work, and he is instead droning up. I think this is a good call here for Elazer. He's getting into a longer macro game, and he's taking up into lurkers. There it is. Lurker Den is on the way. Now, what I will say is that now there's a lot of pressure on MaxPax. So first things first, he has Storm, he has High Templar, he's ready for an all-in that is no longer coming, and because MaxPax was hyper defensive this time, remember what happened last game? He forced a cancel on the 4th base. Here, the 4th base is up and running, right? We have, the Oracle goes down, but the 4th base is up, the 5th base is up, the drone count is healthy here for Elazer as well, so MaxPax, there's pressure on him to do some counter damage and to punish the Zerg before lurkers. Right, lurkers are going to be a big power spike here for Elazer. It's on MaxPax to do something before that. So MaxPax is pushing. That's a lot of Storm, true. And it's mainly a Hydra composition. So this army is very vulnerable to Storm. Like 2 well-placed Storms can shut this down. Speaking of, Storm zoning away. Lings are engaging ahead of time. Oof, Brittle Storm on the Lings as well. And again, there's still plenty of Storms left. So MaxPax, he pokes in, he trades, pulls away, waiting for reinforcements. Charge is finishing up. Oh, and MaxPax, it looks like he just wants to posture. He's going into a Fleet Beacon into Skytoss. So 2nd Stargate, 3rd Stargate's on the way. This is going to be for that Skytoss army into Carrier, into Tempest. Lurkers are morphing in. We're waiting for there we go, lurker upgrades. Lurker upgrades have begun. Now, I'm not too fond of what Elazer's up to. It might be okay. Elazer, he's investing into a Spire. He's throwing down a bunch of Spine Crawlers as well. I would assume that right now his big power spike is lurker tech. He wants to get into as many lurkers as he can and then push as quickly as possible to kill MaxPax before Skytoss. As Tempest are on the way, Elazer is on a timer. Catching up some Overlords. That's going to be 3 Overlords going down. They engaged a little bit too soon. We do have a 2nd lurker army moving out. Tempest are amassing. As we mentioned, Elazer is on a bit of a timer here. As he's rushing past the Storms. Storms reconnect. Elazer is moving in. Gets behind the mineral line. Oof. It's going to be forced back. It's going to be 14 probe kills. Okay, not bad. Decent damage here in the middle line. The hatchery, so the Nexus will go down. Elazer achieving damage. He's getting ready for the Skytoss. Gee, that's a lot of side defense. that's a lot of cannons. That's a lot of cannons here for MaxPax. But he does lose the mineral line. Get across the map. They didn't quite get a kill. Tempest to deny. And so far, Elazer, I mean, he has momentum. He has momentum. He's doing well for himself. He's not really gaining much ground at the moment. Remember, behind this, he's making as many Corruptors as he can. +1 air attack. And Corruptors are building up as well. Ooh, the hatchery did end up falling. Lurkers are backing up. Lurkers, they pull away. How many corruptors do we have? So far 10, soon to be 15. Now, the problem here is, I mean, he's being a little bit too passive with these lurkers. If he was able to move in a little bit earlier, he could maybe delay this position. But breaking a Turtling 4 base, for like a Turtling 4 base Protoss is very difficult here. As MaxPax is securing himself, he's fully walling up. And this will allow MaxPax to max out. Oh, I definitely rush in. They do pull away. Nice storm. Corruptors, they rush into the main base, trying to camp the production. Yeah, they shouldn't get much here. Jesus. Yeah, get out of here, Pat. Corruptors are getting cornered. And yeah, just a really awkward position here for Elazer. Likewise, forcing himself in between the bases, but this Skytill's here. Lurkers move in, they get a High Templar. Corruptors, they break out. Okay. Do you break out? At the same time, Lurkers are getting called out, so MaxPax does counterattack. This base should fall. And then MaxPax, he can recall. So he can take it down the base, he can recall back home. This hatchery should go down. Does pull away. MaxPax does make it out. And no recall needed. Once again, Zelramba, they deny the expansion. Elazer himself, he is struggling. And the momentum that Elazer once had isn't there anymore, to be honest. He did have some nice momentum, killing a base, killing a mineral line as well. But he was unable to break the third. And on MaxPax, he's perfecting his army. The other scary thing, of course, is that MaxPax, he's staying on a lower probe count. He's on 66 workers, so he's able to build up a larger army as well. Jobs is getting caught. Behind this, when it comes to the composition itself, I mean, there are no spellcasters, right? There's no infestors, no broodlords, no vipers. If you want to take it to the late game against Skytill's, you do need to incorporate a greater army here, and Elazer's just not there. He's stuck with a lair tech army, a quote-unquote lair tech army. There's very little finesse here available to Elazer. Tempest getting free shots up. Corruptors, they just cannot engage. He's a no. He cannot push into this pappy. And one more. Oh god, one more. So GG gets called. He will lose all the Corruptors, and MaxPax, he will tie the series 1-1. GG. GG will play it again. Elazer, the style that he was playing is very committed and very aggressive and like quote-unquote borderline all-in. What I mean by that, him rushing into the lair, rushing into the lurker tech, we spoke about it at the time, right? There was going to be a big power spike for Elazer when he hit lurkers, and he had to do damage, and he did. To be fair, he did do damage. He was able to take down the 4th base, able to get a mineral line as well, which was nice, and he even had a faster spire for faster corruptor production. But we did have to emphasize there as well that he had to try to break the main army and trade. Instead, he was passive, right? He built up 15 corruptors, and he didn't do anything with them. He like threatened the main base, didn't get anything in the main, got stuck, pulled away. He didn't engage ahead of time, and we did need to see something more assertive there out of Elazer. He had to be more assertive, more aggressive, because his army had a bit of an expiration date. Like his army did not scale well into the late game, so he had to try to fight early, and he was opposed to it. He wasn't really keen on engaging and pouncing on the army and trying to push in, even if it would be a little bit rough pushing into static defense or committing like that. Like the pressure is on. Like you cannot you can't just be more passive or timid waiting outside, otherwise you just be outscaled. And that happened. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into the ace match. We're getting into game 3. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Saxon Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the Polish Zerg player. We have the orange Zerg. It is Elazer. Here we go. Getting into that third game, getting into the ace match. Welcome on to 10,000 feet. 10,000 feet is a much smaller map, a much more aggressive map in the map pool as well, so aggression is favored here, and we'll see how aggressive our players plan on being. I'm curious if once again Elazer goes with the same build. Like 2 games in a row now, he's going for early lair timings. Game 1 is around 3:45-ish, game 2 was 3:55-ish, so again, just sub 4 minute lairs we've been seeing time and time again. Into faster hydras. We saw an all-in in game 1. We saw a bit of a later push in game number 2 with lurkers instead. Oh, are we going gasless? Okay. Late gas here from Elazer. It's going to be a hatch pool gas opener. Interesting. So what does this mean? This means late link speed. Late link speed out of Elazer. This means that MaxPax, he can be greedy. He can go for a faster third base. He can be a little bit more careless or more aggressive with his adepts, as he does not need his adepts to defend his third base either. So he can be more assertive here, recognizing that link speed is going to be later, and that means that map control for Elazer will be later as well. Typically when you go for late gases like this, it's indicative of maybe even just skipping link speed entirely and investing into an earlier lair or earlier roach warren. We'll see. Elazer reading MaxPax first round would be wild. It would be wild. I mean, I'll be honest, like game 2, he had the opportunity. I feel like game 2, like Elazer, when he broke that base, when he got the mineral line, like that was a very, very powerful moment for Elazer. Again, I'm trying to emphasize that I feel like Elazer, he needs to do more with that moment though. He needed to be in the face of MaxPax. He couldn't back off. He couldn't be passive. I mean, I say he couldn't be. He was passive. He did back off, and that allowed MaxPax to recover, right? Meanwhile, we're staying in gas. Ooh, so link speed is on the way. We're staying in gas. This is indicative here of a faster lair. This could be a Link Queen Nidus all-in. We could be seeing drop lords on the way, but gas should not be mined this quickly. And we have another gas on the way. Oh my god. So heavy gas count here for Elazer. No third base in sight. It's going to be a Void Ray opener out of MaxPax. And there it is. It's going to be a 310 lair timing. Insanely fast lair, even faster than the last 2 games. And even then it was faster lair timings as well. So 310 lair timing. We're leaning towards... I'm leaning towards the Nidus all-in. Like, we're making links at the moment. Link speed is being researched. It's going to be either Nidus or Drop, right? It's going to be one or the other. No shot we're rushing to like 2-base muta. No shot. Okay, so it's not Nidus, it's not a Drop Lords. This does look like 2-base muta. Okay. He's taking all 4 gases, a Roach Warren's on the way. Show us what you got. What is all this gas going to be spent on here? Oh, that is Overlord speed, but we have seen Overlord speed last game as well, and sorry, in game 1 I should say. So we'll see where all this leads. Oracle pokes in, Void Ray as well. They confirm no third. Something is wrong. Something is horribly wrong here. Mining is being denied. Lair has been scouted. Overlord speed usually means Droppalords and an all-in, like a German taxi. I say usually just because that didn't happen in game 1. But I mean, there has to be here. Like there's no third. Yeah. So German taxi. Now the problem here is that it's very obvious. Like we've seen everything. The gases, the roach horn, the lair. No third. The lack of third base here is kind of like what sells the story. That it's gonna be a German taxi.
Glory to the Daylong.
And roaches are revealed. Yep, there's a revelation. Confirms Droppalord. He sees everything. Yeah, MaxPax sees all. Back enemies getting ready. Shield batteries are on the way. Forge for cannons. And we'll see if Elazer can pull this off. As roaches are rallying. Here they're rallying across. MaxPax is getting ready. There's the energy overcharge. Stasis traps are being thrown down. And we're going for a heavy Ravager count with this. Okay. It's going to be a lot of Ravagers. Got 6 Ravagers. Files going to be coming in. From here we go for the Cybercore. Cybercore will fall. Massive pickup. No more Warpins. No more Stalkers at least. No more Stalkers. Stasis Trap is going to try to bait him in. Up. Ooh, Stasis Trap does connect. Yeah, nice connection. Goes on with some of those Ravagers. Elazer does get the gateway. Catching one of the Stalkers, not bad. Blink is not done. Blink is barely not complete. Ooh. Gets another cannon. But Stalkers, they collapse in. Oracles, they dive on the Queens. 1, 2, all the Queens are going down. There's no anti-air, no! Yeah, there's no anti-air. The Oracles and the Void Ray, they will reign supreme. They will clean everything up. And Elazer, he will lose this army. He'll lose this army. Here come the Warpins. GG gets called. And MaxPax, he will take the series 2-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. An interesting build here from Elazer. Again, a 310 layer timing into 4 gases into a 2-base all-in. But again, you could see it coming ahead of time. MaxPax was able to confirm it ahead of time as well, so able to prepare. We also saw, unfortunately, lack of anti-air. He had 3 Queens, but the Queens were focused down. There was no Spore supports or no other anti-air. Once they fell, that was game. Game then and there. GG well played. MaxPax, he will survive Elazer, but once again, it was really cool to see Elazer after a very long hiatus. He's been gone for a long time, so great to see him again. Really quirky builds, especially game 1 and game 2. Like here in game 3, like this is something that's a little bit more obvious, but in game 1 and game 2, I can definitely see a world where he could have 2-0'd, he could have killed MaxPax. Like there was definitely a lot of momentum going in his way. Game 1 with the fake outs, going for the later timing of Hydras into a 3-base all-in and catching MaxPax out. Game 2 making it look like the same build and then droning and then taking up into lurkers and also killing a base and a mineral line. Like there was momentum there for Elazer as well. There's definitely a world where he could have 2-0'd, but GG. GG well played. Really quirky play out of Elazer, and I hope that we see more of him. I hope that this isn't like this isn't a one-off event. I hope that Elazer is willing to compete more and play more, and we could see the return of Elazer. Could see. Would appreciate it. Would appreciate it, as we are getting ready here for our next matchup. Nice idea. He had a huge army supply, but not enough. Well, like, one of the issues with the build that he went for, winding it back to the last game, is that you can go for these, like, 2-base all-ins, but there are ways to try to hide it a little bit more, where you can go for a bit of a later layer timing, go for your 3rd base, and try to deny scouting a little bit more. Here, it was very blatant. It was very just in the face of MaxPax, and as a result, he had more time to prepare for it. More time to set up. Having a larger army doesn't really matter as much just because of the defender's advantage and the Protoss army is more efficient, but GG. GG well played. Did appreciate it nonetheless. And we are now getting into game number 2. Sorry, we're getting into the semifinals. Semifinals here of the tournament. Up next. Oh, beautiful. We have the semifinals, best of 3 between herO and MaxPax. Let's go. Again, these two, they face off very, very often when it comes to these open cups. There's some of the more active players. Let's go. Let us go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss for T1. It is herO. Here we go. And when it comes to this matchup, it's a really interesting one nowadays. If you recall, if you've been watching these two for the past couple of months at this point, PvP has evolved quite a bit between MaxPax and herO. MaxPax, he was known for having the best PvP in the world, I would say, for 2023 and 2024 as well. Coming into 2025, though, MaxPax, his PvP has been struggling. He has been struggling quite a bit in this matchup for the majority of the year. For those who remember, it is because at the end of last year, we had the change that we had the introduction of the NG overcharge instead of shield battery overcharge. And that did impact PvP quite a bit, especially MaxPax's style. Again, if you know anything about MaxPax over the past couple of years, he would every game go Gateway, Cybercore, Stargate, Expand. That was the build he would do every single game, every single map, and often, and it was quite greedy of course, and often it would elicit all-ins. But one of the ways and one of the reasons he could get away with that is because the power of the shield battery overcharge. Now, because it was changed, because it was removed, it meant that he needed to commit extra shield batteries into that defense, which meant that you could be faked out easier. It means that if you did misread an all-in or misread a build, it was more punishing as well. And likewise, I mean, in general, PvP did become more punishing, more engaging, and MaxPax has struggled for quite a bit. Recently, though, the past couple of months, he has finally gone for more 2-gate openers. As I say that, Gate, Cyber, into Stargate. It is, once again, a more greedier build here by MaxPax. This is kind of like his go-to old-school build. Meanwhile, herO does hide a pylon. He hides a pylon here on the right-hand side. Based on its location, I would assume if we do anything, it's going to be Stargate, but we'll keep an eye on the probe, as it does stick around. Oh, Twilight Council. With a proxy Twilight Council, are we feeling DTs? I mean, it's still going to be that Stargate opener, as we mentioned. Again, Gate, Cybercore, Stargate into Nexus. With this, you can open up with an Oracle to harass across the map, and if you're up against an all-in, you can make Void Race to defend. So because it's going to be an Oracle-based opener, DTs won't be as effective as there is detection. Are we rushing into Blink? We'll keep an eye on herO. Show us what you got. Meanwhile, again, 2-gate open out of herO. herO, he should not be expanding. We see Stalkers in position to deny any kind of scouting, to deter any aggression. And Blink is on the way, okay. So rushing into Blink. Here comes our rush to the gateway. So far we have 3-gate Blink. And I believe we should be getting our 4th gateway. So 1 base, 4-gate Blink Stalker is going for the all-in. MaxPax does move out. And we'll see what he can get, what he can scout. We'll see what he can get a read on. Void Ray follow-up. Confirms that there's only 2 pylons, confirms no 3rd, confirms no 3rd pylon either. Sorry, no natural base, I'm going to say. Ooh, the Oracle, oh no! The Oracle takes a lot of damage, does barely get away. Takes a lot of hits, and if he hugs the edge of the map, he might actually find this. Does he go up? Oh yeah, he's checking the gold. Yeah, he's going to check the gold base, which means he will find the proxy, he will confirm the Blink. But will it matter? There we go, does confirm. Across the map, what do we have to defend? We do have 1 Void Ray, 1 Gateway. Yeah, just still 1 Gateway. 2nd Gateway just now finishing up with 2 shield batteries. Comes down to the unit control here, herO. Now, as time goes on, it's going to get better and better for MaxPax. herO, he's here for the all-in. Blink is almost done. Does spot the stasis.
Research complete.
Is aware. Nice control. Based out the stasis, he does get one stalker. Oh, ooh, he'll lose the trades 1 for 1. Better trade for MaxPax. As MaxPax he's holding onto another of his Mac alignments. So he's got one more. Oh, blinks in, he can two-shot, gets a Void Ray. Yeah, nice choice. As he gets Void Ray for his Mac alignment, but at last he does beat out some Stalkers. It's gonna be 3 Stalkers going down. Second Void Ray does barely fall. And breaks through the Void Rays. There's 3 Stalkers left. And here he should overwhelm. There's no more Void Rays. The Robo just finished. Immortal's on the way. Before it pops out though, herO, he wants those Stalkers. Oh, blinks in. Oh no! Oh god, I almost died. Massive stasis goes off, and herO, every second counts. The Immortal's on the way. Here he did not notice that stasis, and that might just be game. That might just be game then and there. That one stasis trap. Ay, ay, ay. Otherwise, his army should be dead. herO. The Immortal has arrived. There's one more stasis. There's one more stasis trap. herO, does he notice? For now, going for the natural. Second Immortal's on the way. Oh, the Oracle does get picked up. Oh, blinks in. He's crazy. Blinks in, takes down the Immortal. I'm not sure he notices. No. He's so close. He does. Okay, he does notice. Sprays out the stasis. There we go. He should overwhelm. Takes out the Stalkers. 3 Stalkers left. 2 Stalkers left. Down to 1. And down to 0. 0 Stalkers remaining. GG gets called. herO, he's still overwhelmed. Still breaks through. And herO, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, herO, we saw a brutal moment, of course, when he did take a stasis trap to the face, but despite that, still had more than enough Stalkers to overwhelm. Really unfortunate that MaxPax did lose his initial 2 Void Rays. To lose both Void Rays early on, that was the backbone of his army, but also really difficult to defend, going for a Stargate opener up against a 1 base all-in. As we mentioned, these all-ins, they do hit harder, they do hit faster, more than last year, for example, because of the change to the energy overcharge. And with that, GG. With that, herO does take a lead. Alright, also, I should say that these all-ins are even harder this patch as well, just because of also the change to the energy overcharge, where it does provide less energy, where it is less effective. But here we go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Pylon, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Starstorm Gaming. Down in the series, we'll see if he mounts back. It is MaxPax. Here we go. And welcome to Pylon. Pylon is a very small map in the map pool. You can all in on this map even without a proxy. Like, you can set up your gateway, your robo back at home, commit to a 1 base all in, and it'll still hit very, very hard on Pylon. So we should be seeing a safe build out of MaxPax. We should be seeing a 2-gate, but we'll see. As MaxPax, he's been attempting to go Gate, Cyber, Stargate again. Like, for a long time, he stopped. I want to say for like 2 or 3 months, he just stopped and was going for nothing but 2-gate openers. But over the past week, he's been back to it. We saw it in Biggest Cup. We saw it in last week's WardiTV Monday. And I'm not too convinced, but we'll see. For now, 2-gate open out of herO. Probe, it does move out across the map. And it's going to be a Gate Cyber Gate Cyber Stargate into expansion once again out of MaxPax. So same build. Same build, same opener. And herO's going for a 1 base all-in. Let's go. So, a very similar situation. Again, because of the rush distance, I would imagine that this time it will be a Robo, not a Twilight Council, and we'll be seeing a different form of all-in Immortal base. Waiting for the Cybercore. Cybercore is done. Okay, wait, sorry, Stalkers are on the way. Where is the proxy though? Sorry, here he's moving out. Did make both Stalkers. Here he does second guess himself. He's gonna go through, he's gonna confirm the opener. Yeah, he sees Gate Cybercore. Zealot does move out, it does scout, it does get on top of the pylon. And now this is a really awkward position for herO. MaxPax is cutting corners, and herO, he won't be able to punish. Does block. So it looks like more or less it's just a fake out. When she uses MaxPax, he can get into his build. Oh, second gateway. Second gateway. I mean, we have a nice block here. Does block, does delay. Like, what does herO have here? What I mean by that is that herO, he's applying pressure. He does have another Stalker on the way, but there's shield batteries to defend. Here comes the natural base. Oracle moves out across the map. Back to him, thankfully, there's a shield battery. But MaxPax can get into his game. Get into his game. Has to pull back to the high ground. Oh. Nice time with the sentry. Here he does get the pylon. Okay. Power goes down. Ooh, barely doesn't get the Stalker. Okay, gets one, gets two, gets both. Barely gets both Stalkers. And we're working towards the Twilight Council. So Twilight Council into Blink. herO, he does out trade, but the game will continue. How did MaxPax see the pylon probe? The Zealot went straight to it. My assumption is that he just went straight here to check one of the more common proxy locations to shut it down. Like, I would assume the same thing, like if herO had gone for a proxy either here in the center left next to the bridges, which is another common location. That's because of the probe scout, he knew that there was a pylon somewhere. So that's to get into the main. Probes going down, they're getting up to 4 probe kills. 4, 5, 6 probes falling. 7 probes, oh god, 8 probes going down. This is critical damage. Critical damage at this point. herO far behind economically. He may just throw down extra gateways and just commit. He's moving out. He's moving out across the map behind this. Extra gateways on the way. 2 shield wires to defend. herO, he expands? No shot. He gets scouted as well. Okay, we'll see if herO can deny the third base to MaxPax. He picks in. MaxPax does have the defensive advantage. Gets one, gets 2 Stalkers. And MaxPax will hold. He'll hold to maintain his economic lead. There's more pressure on herO to get some counter damage done. And so far, MaxPax looking comfortable. Looking comfortable. So we have charge on the way for herO as a follow-up, trying to get into the mid game. MaxPax will have these slightly better upgrades. Forge on the way for +1. Yo, can he bait him in? No shot. Can he bait him? Oh. Now pokes forward. Does pull away. Blinks in. Jesus. Thankfully doesn't keep chasing at the same time. Does cause distraction. Oracle does hit the third. 4 probes do go down. Oh no! Oh, thank God. Did notice. Did notice at least one stasis trap. And does notice the other. Does get caught out. He cannot chase. MaxPax is safe and gets 4 probes. MaxPax, he still maintains that economic lead at 10 probe kills. Well, I should say, sorry, an 11 worker lead. So massive advantage here from MaxPax. Likewise, Oracle back into the natural. Oracle into the third as well. Into both bases. Probes are falling left and right, and herO is being pulled apart. 16 probe kills. Again, critical damage, and herO, this one he's all in. At this point, there's no macroing out of this. I mean, he was already behind to begin with. Now even more so. There's a proxy. And either he kills MaxPax or he dies trying. Send it, baby. Send it. Wings in. Oh no, none of the stasis. Yeah, speaking of, stasis goes off, catching out 3 stalkers. As Shield is helping. And here he's just running out of steam here. He's only up by 2 stalkers, not enough. More Zelta warping in. +1 about to finish it for MaxPax. And with that extra warp ins, cannons buying time. MaxPax, he can pull the boys if he needs to. He has the option here. So now just trading with the army. Once again, Oracle across the map. More probes going down. And again, it was just a shaky start for herO, going for the fake pylon, but allowing MaxPax to get into his build. I was so convinced he was going to proxy, but GG gets called, and MaxPax ties up the series 1-1. We're going to the ace match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We are going to the ace match here again, and just a really shaky start from herO, losing a lot of workers to the depths early on, to the oracles as well. He was behind, he fell further behind, and in the end was forced into that all-in, with MaxPax having a superior economy, and as time went on, it was an easier and easier defense there for MaxPax. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we're now getting into the ace match. We'll see how this story ends as we're loading into White Rabbit, a map that we rarely get to see. It's a very large map, but because it's so large, there are a lot of places to proxy. Let's go. As spawning in the right-hand corner of White Rabbit, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing System Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Green Protoss, the blue Protoss for T1. It is herO. Here we go. As we are going to be settling into game number 3, the final game of the series, and we'll see how our players do adjust. We'll see how they deviate. Now, 2 games in a row, MaxPax has gone for the quote-unquote MaxPax opener, Gate, Cyber, Stargate, Expand. Done it twice now. We expect to see it here as well, and as a result, we're expecting to see herO commit into something more aggressive. But is that too obvious? Is it too obvious? I did mention earlier that there are a lot of areas to proxy. There's a lot of areas here towards the center, towards the left, towards the right. Again, welcome to White Rabbit, a very large map, a very defendable map as well in a longer macro game that's applicable to other matchups, less so for PvP. And here comes the probe. So already here he does veer off towards the left-hand side. Does veer off, and he can either commit or get a fake pylon up and running. Where are we headed? Probe is on the way. So I should have mentioned this last game, but we can emphasize it here. The probe scout from MaxPax confirms that a pylon is missing. There's a pylon dead set in the center of the map. So MaxPax, he knows that there's a pylon somewhere else. It could be towards left, right, center. It's on MaxPax to figure it out. And as we mentioned, because on White Rabbit, because this map is so big, there's a lot of proxy locations. Not just that, there's a TLMC21 map. That means the players have less experience, and the players, they have less knowledge as to where the more common locations are. Unlike on Tokamak or Pylon or Maganatha, where it's more played out. So here we go, the first Zealot has arrived. And this time you can see MaxPax is scouting towards the left-hand side. Oh, does veer off towards the center. So again, he's looking for the proxy, checking towards the left, but it's over towards the right-hand side instead. Gateway is on the way. Oh, does re-rally, does reroute, does find it. Okay, let's go. Does find the proxy, does confirm. With that, he can focus down the pylon, and we have the Stargate on the way. Now, this is still the same opener here at a MaxPax, so it's going to be Stargate. He can make the Void Ray first, does find the proxy, will at least depower. True, should depower. Second pylon, so here he will keep this powered. He'll keep it up and running. The first pylon will fall, but the second will finish. And MaxPax has to get out of here. Does kind of against the Zealot. The Zealot, oh, will pull away. Does pull away. Does go down there just barely. Zealot is full. And the proxy is getting up. We're still rallying across the map. Again, we have 2 gates back at home, 1 gateway across the map. Warp gate is almost done. Going 3 gates. Now, what is the benefit of this compared to a Robo? This hits earlier, this hits faster because you're continuing to rally across the map. Pylon at the Pylon in the main. Here we're getting a little bit ambitious. This should not get up, but it is distracting. Here comes our first Void Ray. And again, here he's already here. So it does hit faster. There's 2 shield batteries on the way. Head up shades in. The pylon is still up, actually. Okay. The pylon is still up. As 1 Stalker goes down. Again, the reasoning for this is because the supply, the production is very limited here for MaxPax. He needs everything to defend. Needs everything to hold on. Remember, MaxPax only has 1 gateway. Adept does shade in. Probes are going down. Mining is being denied. Here he does get some permanent damage on these Stalkers. Star steps in. Gets 1. 1 Stalker goes down. He gets 2. He's gonna get all 3. Yeah, all 3 Stalkers. Massive pickups. And again, MaxPax, he can only warp in 1 unit at a time. The Archers Pylon. Pylon goes down. Depowers everything at the natural. And here he's doing it. He's doing it, pushing through. Takes down both pylons, breaks into the main base. That's a kill, not a cancel. There's 2 Void Rays left. The force field is buying time. Buying time, bye. But here he's done. He's broken in. With supply blocks. MaxPax, he can't make a Void Ray. Brutal supply block. Void Ray goes down. I mean, that means he can make one now. True. Let's go. 1 Void Ray left. We're still rallying in. Nice kiting here by herO. And the final Void Ray will fall. GG. GG gets called. herO, he will take the series 2-1. He'll advance on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations here to herO as it does claim the series. It does advance on. Again, I'm very unconvinced by MaxPax going back into this style of play. Just for some greater context, just to remind everyone. Going for this build that he went for every game, by the way, every game in the series, Gate, Cyber, Expand, Gate, Cyber, Stargate into expansion, is something that MaxPax was known for a long time. If you remember at the start of the series, I was emphasizing how it has been a weaker build ever since the start of the year, ever since the removal of the shield battery overcharge, and especially with the nerf of the NG overcharge as well. It is weaker just because shield batteries are less effective in PvP specifically, and it means that all-ins are stronger in PvP, and it means it is more difficult to defend than in years past. This was like the go-to build that MaxPax would do for 2024, 2023, and even 2022. Like it was just the build that he did every game in PvP, and he had the best PvP in the world. But nowadays it is weaker, and as I was mentioning, post EWC or around EWC, MaxPax he stopped going for this build because it was so unsuccessful, and he started going for 2 gates, started playing 2 gates, started going for his own cheese, his own proxy. It was really cool to see MaxPax kind of branch out and be more flexible and have more success in PvP. He was winning more, he was taking more games, he was beating here, he was beating Classic. But specifically this week, I should emphasize, specifically it was this week's WardiTV Monday, this week's Pigastar Cup, and last week's WardiTV Monday, these last 3 tournaments, and Monday Night Weeklies as well, where he suddenly started again. He started going back to it. And I'm still not convinced. Like, obviously there's a reason why he's doing it. I'm still not entirely convinced just because we've seen herO beat MaxPax quite regularly as a result of him going back to this style. So we'll see, maybe it's a phase, and maybe MaxPax goes back to 2 gate openers. We'll see. Just because it is more difficult to defend against all-ins now than it was previously. And GG well played. With that, we are now getting ready for the grand finals. We're going to be going on a short break, and when we come back, we'll have the finals here. It's going to be a best of 5 between herO and ByuN. We'll get there. For now, going on a short break. We'll see you guys soon after the break. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals here. Let's grand finales of the WardiTV Monday number 58. We just covered herO versus MaxPax, the semifinals, and that leads into the grand finals here between our top two players. When it came to the upper semis, ByuN, he was able to bring down Nicorect. It was ByuN versus Nicorect in the upper semifinals, led into this grand finals here. The specified between herO and ByuN. These two have been facing off quite a bit, and ByuN has been flexing his unique style of TVP as of late. I'm still thinking about the PTSD match between herO and ByuN. The game on Mothership. It was like an hour-long game of ByuN just never attacking. It was brutal. That was brutal. But I will say that he has been a little bit more assertive, a little bit more aggressive since then. We'll get into it though. We'll get into it as we jump into game one, as we load into Title Citadel. Let's go. Let's go. Loading into one of the new TLMC21 maps. Thankfully for ByuN, there is no Mothership in this map pool, in this tournament map pool. No Mothership, but here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Title Citadel. We have the South Korean Terran player, we have the Red Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Protoss player, we have the Blue Protoss for T1. It is herO. Go. Whew. And getting into the CUP, talking a little bit about ByuN's style. We've been talking about this quite a bit. If you've been watching ByuN in recent months, then you'd be familiar. Basically, ever since the start of the year, ByuN has been very defensive and very passive in TVP. He has stopped going for these more aggressive timings and aggressive builds. He is the least aggressive Terran player in TVP in the world, I would say, compared to like Bunny, Cure, Clem, Maru, Ryung, herO, compared to all the other top Terran players. ByuN, he's very often going for the mid game and going for the late game. It's very rare to see him all in. I'm not saying he never goes for all ins. I'm not saying that. He does mix it in every now and then, just less than the others, right? Less than the other top Terran players. So he's very often in this matchup at least going for a more macro-oriented game state. First things first though, it is double gas opener, faster factory. This is a more tech-heavy start out of ByuN. This can lead into early Reacted Reaper Hellion aggression. This can lead into early Cyclone production, committed Widowmine drops, and can even lead into eventually faster Cloak Banshees. So we'll keep an eye on ByuN to see how he does turn out. Welcome to Title Citadel. This is a very large map of the map pool. Large map, longer rush distance by ground, and pretty well defendable on 3 bases. The 4th base is a little bit more spread out, is a little bit more vulnerable here. A narrow attack path, but is on the low ground, and it can be abused by this open area here that you can open up by knocking down these rocks. So you can try to rotate now, position the defending player. Because this map is difficult to defend and turtle up on 4 bases, I would want to see something more aggressive out of ByuN on 2 bases here. Just because talking about ByuN and just referencing his style of being more defensive and being more turtle heavy and getting into a longer or later game and maxing out, I feel like it is going to be difficult to do that here on Title Citadel. Oh boy. Meanwhile, Twilight Council open out of herO. Does go for the Twilight Council. We do see a faster add-on setup here from ByuN. Interesting. So Reaper moves out across the map. We do have a Reactor Marine production, not Reacted Reaper. Doesn't go for the add-on swap, opening up with the early Cyclone. Okay. So no Reaper Hellion. Does go early Cyclone. With this, he will shut this down, but his CC is delayed. So the downside of going for low ground CC is this kind of position here is for a delayed expansion. Boys are being pulled. And ByuN will defend, but I mean, he's going to be losing SCVs. Yeah, 1 SCV goes down, and Adep shades into the main. Can he get another SCV? Oh, I mean, he's denying mining. He's denying mining regardless. Gets 1 Marine. 1 Marine left. What a boss. Ooh, Cyclone does defend though. Cyclone defends, and finally the natural base is going to get back up and running, but this is a big delay here for ByuN. And behind this herO, building up in the blink. Building up. That is an earlier tank out of ByuN. Okay. Now, with early tank production, my assumption here is for an earlier tank push. We could even see a starport into medevac into early drop play as well. This does look like something more assertive here by ByuN, or at least it should be. Emphasis on should. And again, as I mentioned before, I do want to see more aggression out of ByuN, specifically on Title Citadel. It's going to be difficult to be more macro-oriented here. There are other maps where it would be easier, it'd be better on, like Tokamak, for example, even Maganatha. I would think it'd be easier on Maganatha than on Taito to defend. Oh. Okay, so he goes to the early tank to secure his natural into add-on swap into earlier Cloak Banshee. Okay. My assumption was that he was going to be making a second tank and getting to a medevac or a Viking. That's not the case. So he's going for harass. Behind this hero getting his third base up and running. Getting into blink. So the game will continue. We're building up from here. Now, crucial to note is that here he does go 2-gate blink into a robo into a third base. This is quite a economic and quite a greedy build here, delaying his third gateway, but he does at least get the robo and he has detection. This is one of the reasons why it is less common to see Cloak Banshees nowadays, and it's more common to see Speed Banshees, because it is very common for Protoss players to go for the faster robo to be safe to get detection. So detection is available for the Banshee. Despite that, we'll see if ByuN can find some damage. So ByuN is moving out. We see the Observer with the main army. Not in the bases. Not in the middle line. Stalkers move out. Banshee moves in. Oh. We're getting there. Again, eyes are on the Banshee. This Banshee does make its way into the main. We'll find some damage here. Again, Stalker's out of position. Probe's going to be going down. Getting 1, 2, up to 3 probes already. Not bad. We'll barely get 4. 4 probes gets 5. Yeah, nice target firing here. 5, 6 probes going down. The Banshee will be deflected, but so far this is worth it. Again, 6 probe kills so far, and there's a second Banshee. Headed towards a third. And again here, he had the tools to defend, but he was out of position. As he will lose 2 more workers, 3 more probes. Banshee stays back. Here he has to keep supply back at home to defend. He wanted to be aggressive, but alas, the aggression has been stifled. And ByuN's building up. He's building up back at home. Stim, combat shields. As here is being kept busy. ByuN is looking comfortable. And from here, ByuN will have the option to throw down extra Raxes or a third CC. Of course, here he has eyes on the move out. Spots the army. Does spot the main army. There's a third CC, so ByuN, he's not going for an all-in. As he moves out, so the Prism moves in. But there are defenses back at home. Nice positioning here from ByuN. Yeah, very nice positioning. But ByuN, he is delayed. Spots the Observer. Now, upon seeing the third command center, here he knows he needs, so yeah, he just expands. 4th base on the way. Here he's warping in. He's of course respecting this army, but he knows it's not too committed. And behind this, working towards Colossus. So the Colossi are coming. Here he does spot the move out. Here is aware. He's getting ready. I mean, 3 tanks. If ByuN can get within range, he can shut down that 4th. But here he does engage. Does force a siege. Yeah, 1 tank is going to go down. They'll take left turn from the left hand side. Sorry, from the right. Yeah, he gets 1, 2, all 3 tanks go down, and here he shuts down this army. He shuts down ByuN. And here he keeps and he maintains his 4th base. So far so good. So I'll say move in to delay the 3rd. Spot the CC. And ByuN can be able to deal with this. ByuN now trades. And we'll get his third. Now, as we're slowing the game down, as we're entering the mid game, I'm going to kind of re-emphasize what I mentioned earlier. I will say that your 3-base setup here is relatively secure, right? You have the high ground advantage, you have choke points moving into it, so you have the advantage attacking an aggressing army. That is true, but once again, it's the 4th base that really concerns me. Sensor towers on the way. If ByuN's plan here is to turtle, it feels like it's going to be more difficult. Now, to be fair, we haven't seen many games on Tidal Citadel because it is a TLMC21 map, so the amount of like data that we have on this map is more is limited, I should emphasize. But it does feel to be the case that it's going to be a harder map to mass expand on, to get a 4th, to get a 5th base. As here is claiming the gold. Right, also I should mention that what I'm saying is more regarding to the Terran player, just because the Protoss has map control. Like, herO can freely expand. He's getting his 4th base, he's getting his 5th base, he's rushing into a gold. herO's gonna have a massive economic lead. Because he has map control, he can apply pressure, and he can be the one to ensure that ByuN cannot expand. And 4th CC. So ByuN, he is going to turtle up and slow things down. This is why we brought this up at the start of this series, is that ByuN, this is kind of his go-to. Like, ByuN's go-to is to throw down sensor towers, turrets, depots, bunkers, and turtle up. Specifically in this matchup. I should also emphasize, this is not reflective of how he approaches TVT or TVZ. He's much more aggressive in those matchups. Much more. But if you've been watching ByuN this year in 2025, like, this is the norm. For ByuN. So from here, the goal should be to max out. For ByuN to max out on his Ghost Viking Liberator composition. 2nd starport is on the way, so we're working towards eventually a fusion core into Liberator range, into Liberators as well, to perfect his army. Then he can start being aggressive. As hero's going into Dark Templar, interesting. Or we get 5 DTs back at home. Shadow Stride is on the way for the Dark Templar as well. There's a +1 ship weapons. And here comes the 4th, get scouted. herO knows. Now with ByuN taking this 4th base, this should trigger herO to be more aggressive. Oh, as the Prism goes down. Barely, not actually. Prism barely gets away, but shouldn't get much done. Harasses in the main base, goes for a warp in, but there are units to defend. Still gets a couple of SCVs. Oh. Some Dark Templar as well. Here comes the main army. As we mentioned, the goal is to deny the 4th. And here's here. Nice EMPs. EMPs are blanking the army. Colossus is moving in. There are plenty of Vikings, though. They get 1, and there's 1 Colossus left. It's also going to go down. Takes down the Colossi, DTs a blink on the army, and here he kills the Planetary. Kills the Planetary, comes in from behind. Remember, he has the gold base, he has excess minerals. Here he has 1,700 minerals, Batbeat. How many gateways is he on? 14. He can do with more. He can do with more, but here come the reinforcements. Here he's going for the kill. GG gets called, and herO takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Hi, bro, from Costa Rica. Thanks for the cast. Oh, gracias, Pab, gracias. Bienvenidos, bienvenidos de Costa Rica. But GG, well played. herO does take the game. But again, this map does favor the Protoss, I feel. Like, this is a very difficult map for the Terran player to play this style and to build up on 4 bases, and that is ByuN's go-to, so it's a very difficult map to pull that off on. As you saw, herO just had to be patient, wait for ByuN to expand, wait for ByuN to expose himself, and then once he's exposed, then herO can go for the kill, go for the 4th base, and end it from there. GG. GG, well played. But I should emphasize that this style of play here from ByuN is going to be stronger depending on the map as well. And we're loading into another, I would say, in a sense, more defendable map. We'll get into it. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing T1. It is herO. Here we go. How have herO managed to win a fight near a planetary like that? As we try to emphasize, specifically on Taito Citadel, specifically on that map, the bases are more spread out. The rotations, the defensive rotations, take longer. If you remember, ByuN, he did not fight with his entire army. Part of his army was defending in the main base and was distracted by the Warp Prism because the Warp Prism got in and did finish a Warp in the main. On top of that, herO had the economic advantage because of the goal base, and herO had the larger army supply because of the goal base as well. Remember, there was a goal base on top of that. So that's why Taito Citadel does favor Protoss more, because once they gain map control, they gain a massive economic lead, which leads into a massive army supply lead as well. So better economy, larger army, ByuN being out of position, ByuN fighting with only a portion of his army as well. Like, there's a lot of factors there that led into a very strong fight at the planetary, at the 4th base for herO. There's like a lot that like was favoring herO there. But speaking of maps, speaking of 10,000 feet, welcome to 10,000 feet. 10,000 feet is one of the more aggressive maps in the map pool. In saying that, I will say that your initial 3-base setup here is much more secure. They're much more close together, especially with the 4th base as well. The 4th base option is a little bit more awkward. You have the center 4th base, which can be attacked from the other side of the ravine. So with tanks, with siege units, with Colossus as well, you can shell away at the mineral line. You can storm the mineral line as well from the other side. You can set up tanks and you can hit the base. So that does make the center base more difficult to hold on to. If we go to the linear 4th base instead, here it's a little bit more secure. There are multiple angles of attack, that is true, but for the most part we have seen Terran players successfully use SimCity to wall up, wall off, and turtle up on 4 bases. On a 4-base setup, I will say that this map, it should be easier for ByuN to turtle up on 4 bases than on Taito Citadel. On top of that, unlike Taito Citadel, there's no gold, right? There's no gold expansion. So once herO gains map control, if he gains map control, he won't have the advantage of that gold base. Typically, maps with gold bases favor the Protoss because they will take it, right? They will take it. It will give them a massive economic lead for their zealot, for their mineral income, for their zealot warp-ins. That's not applicable here. But like, maps do impact like how games play out quite a bit. I should also emphasize as well that it's not as impactful as Brood War. Like Brood War, like maps, they're even more impactful just because how high ground works and how terrain works, right? Like the missed chance in Brood War is huge, and it does make defensive play, or it does make ramps and obscured vision areas even more powerful. Likewise, they're a little bit more diverse when it comes to what they add to their maps, when it comes to like disruption webs, or when it comes to neutral buildings. Like they're a little more carefree with their maps, and because of that, the maps are even more impactful than in SC2. But that doesn't mean that, like, you know, there aren't certain styles that are favored in SC2 depending on what map you do, depending on what map you have. For now, would you see ByuN going? I believe it was a Rax. Oh, I believe it was Rax expand, but CC on the high ground. Could be mistaken though that it was double gas. Looks like the same opener. Yeah, that's right. Was the same opener 2 games in a row. Just CC on the high ground this time, so this time there was no delay. Remember, last game ByuN went for the command center on the low ground, and there was a massive delay with the Adept harass, with the Zealot harass. That is not the case here in game 2. So a cleaner start out of ByuN going for his early drop. So medevac drop across the map. Last game ByuN also went into Cloak Banshee. I will say the Banshees, they did a decent amount of damage, but this time no Banshees in sight. And he does avoid those Stalkers. Does avoid the Stalkers, was able to unload. With that, ooh, 1 Stalker goes down. Yeah, gets 1. But will lose the Cyclone. Overall, this is a better defense for herO. He does trade, but again, the Cyclones, I mean, they're quite costly units this early on. Does mean that ByuN is going to be that much more vulnerable back at home. But now we're setting up. Bunkers on the way. Tank production has begun as well. ByuN securing himself on 2 bases. And herO will rush into his 3rd. So herO going for the triangular 3rd base. Oh, you have my attention. herO going into faster Colossus production this time. This is a Babe before charge. Last game, we went for charge, went for gateways, went for the forge first into delayed Colossus. Now, the rationale for this is because of the map itself. Remember we spoke about this? Tidal Citadel is a larger map, or was a larger map of the map pool, longer rush distance from my ground. You have more room to kind of be more greedy. Here, on 10,000 feet, this is a safer style out of herO, as we'll have earlier Colossus against an earlier push. I say safer style, it's a more tech-heavy start. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. A little bit more tech-heavy. It means that herO, I mean, he would be vulnerable to a push at the moment. He's staying only on 3 gateways. But ByuN, it looks like he won't be moving out soon. He's still waiting for his upgrades. Stim, +1. ByuN is chilling back at home. We'll see if ByuN goes into a 3rd CC from here. He has the option to. Here he is cutting corners, being a little bit more tech heavy. And we'll see how ByuN decides to approach this time. There's a 3rd CC. So building up into a 3rd base. I would imagine he'll go for the triangular 3rd base as well. I would imagine. Again, the 3-base setup is relatively secure, at least initially. I should also mention as well, one of the big features of this map is the massive tumors. The tumors, they do expire at around 8 minutes, so bear that in mind. They do, I mean, you can see here, like they're slowly expiring over time. They're running out of HP. These tumors will eventually go down, and they open up the map quite significantly. So the map does open up. herO claiming his 4th base. herO, he didn't even see the 3rd CC. He's just assuming that we have a more economic build here out of ByuN. Hey, it's ByuN, so good assumption. Oh, this is greedy though. Stargate? So it gets a 4th base, goes into a Stargate. This Stargate, in my mind here, means faster fleet beacon, means faster mothership. So this is quite greedy here from herO. We'll see if he gets away with it. ByuN goes for his first move out. He expands behind this. The Observer does put the move out as well. herO knows. Here he's aware. Auto harass into the main. herO should be responding here to the army as ByuN actually does pull back. Observer does confirm. Here go the warpins. Here he rotates towards the left hand side. He needs to see if ByuN is pushing. So gets 1 SCV. Yeah, here is in position. So he has the Observer on the right, he has Stalkers on the left, and he will see any kind of move out. And yeah, here it comes. +1 air attack, a fleet beacon, Stargate. This is very Classic-esque. Classic, he's the kind of player that does love to do this, which is whenever the game slows down in such a way, Classic will rush into Sky Toss. herO pulling a bit of a Classic, doing the same thing. This is greedy, but if ByuN is passive, if he's defensive, if he's going to stay at home, then may as well be tech heavy like this. May as well be greedy. And Tempest would be so strong in this kind of setup because of this map, right? Because of this expansion. We spoke about it, but tanks can abuse this, Storm can abuse this, Colossus can abuse this, Tempest also can abuse this position. As ByuN to take that forward base. Oh, okay, going into Carrier. Carriers, they're not as efficient as Tempest, but they are more aggressive. So this, in my mind, reads as herO wanting to hit a timing and wanting to kill ByuN and not drag the game out. This is risky, of course. Again, as we mentioned, like carriers, they're less efficient. but okay. Bold move. I think the forward third really favors Terran here with siege tanks, then taking the fourth base is so much easier. I agree against a ground-based composition. That's why I was trying to emphasize that rushing into, I mean, my rationale, my theory was rushing into Tempest would be even better on this map to punish this expansion. As we can see though, it's not going to be Tempest, it's going to be Carrier instead, which I'll be honest, I feel like is going to be less effective. ByuN is already building up Vikings, he's already getting a second starport. It is standard to get up to 2 if not 3 starports, going to Viking, going to Liberator, it coming in towards the mid to late game. So I'm not too convinced, but we'll see what herO can get done with Mass Carrier, as he's intentionally hiding them, of course. Cool. Raven goes down. Zel's get a tank. Nicely done. Does catch a tank. herO throwing away supply. As ByuN, as he rotates towards the left, the Zel's moving on the right. This time ByuN is ready, and these Zel's are being thrown away. They're being thrown away. They do get on top of the tank though. Yeah, tank goes down. So that's a herO killing 2 tanks. I believe 0 tanks left. So this position is that much weaker. Again, we're hiding, we're building up that carrier count, and it's going to be one and done here. As we mentioned, like, this is going to be a very aggressive timing. This push, once herO reveals the carriers, like, it's meant to end the game. It's meant to end the game. Here they come. Here come the carriers. And ideally not give ByuN too much time to react. There are 8 Vikings so far. Viking count, I will say low. 8 Vikings, I mean, that's not that much. It's going to be on herO to focus him down. He's trying to. He gets 1. He gets 1. He gets 2 Vikings. Oh, just 1. And the others do back off. Instantly, 4 Vikings being built at once. Vikings are on the way. So far, Marines, they try to rush in. There's so many Marauders and too many. Yeah, too many Marauders here. I say that one of the carriers, 2 carriers do fall. Can he focus down the Vikings? Can he focus them? Well, there's another carrier. Yeah, another carrier goes down. It's still quite close, and herO, he will lose the final 2 carriers. Sorry, he's down to 2 carriers. Barely comes out on top, just barely, but that was a messy fight. Very messy fight for herO. Only Marauder survived. There's like 2 Marines. I think behind this Mass Marine, Mass Viking, Mass Anti-Air. And ByuN held. ByuN held. He did lose the expansion, true. Did lose the base. But ByuN, he held on. And as I mentioned before, that was meant to kill. Like, that was meant to kill ByuN. The fact that it didn't, it concerns me. As carriers are quite expensive. They're a big resource dump. As we have 6 more carriers moving in. 2 more on the way, soon to be 8. I mean, the Viking count is still low, true. Viking count is still low. Only 2 Vikings. Marines are trickling in. The anti-air is not here. It's not here yet. Yeah, ByuN, he's being a little bit too cavalier. He's attacking too soon. The Marines are holding their own. Just barely. How many Vikings we have? Up to 6. He gets 1. No interceptors. As he barely gets 1 carrier. Does take down the expansion. Gets the base. herO, he's broke. And ByuN, he just has to survive. He has to survive a little bit longer. ByuN is almost there. Casito. He does him in. Sims on forward. Remember, there's 0 splash damage, no Colossus, no Storm. The carriers are trying to hold their own. Gets 1. There's 6 carriers left. Down to 5. 5 carriers remaining. Down to 4, down to 3. He's done it. Yeah, ByuN has done it. He has broken herO, has broken all the carriers. And again, I wasn't too, I mean, going mass carry like this, it's rare to work. GG gets called, and ByuN ties up the series 1-1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. I know what it is about herO, but he does things like this from time to time. Going for these mass carrier timings, it is very rare to work. As you mentioned, that first push, it has to end with that. Has to kill with that push. And unfortunately, with that push failing, I mean, that's game. That's game then and there. He was outscaled over time. Basically an all-in there from herO. He could have gone for the more efficient rounds, going into Tempest instead, going to Tempest, going to Storm. He chose instead to risk it with Carrier. And it's not easy to pull off. GG. GG, well played. With that, we have a back and forth. We're getting into game 3, loading into ley lines. Ooh, okay. Loading into ley lines here. There's a bit to get into when it comes to a longer and later game. We'll get there. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Shopify, tying up the series 1-1. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing T1. It is herO. Oh, ByuN does move out with the SV, I believe, rallying into the base. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on the worker if he goes for the proxy or if he goes for the eBay block. And it does hide here on the right-hand side. And here comes the proxy racks. Not just one, two. So 2 Rax Reaper, let's go. 2 Rax Reaper out of ByuN. He will commit, he will double down. Now, what I was about to say is that coming into ley lines, again, both game 1 and game 2, ByuN has gone for the late game, right? He's gone for a 3, then 4 base setup into like a more into maxing out. That is ByuN's style. That is his go-to. Coming into ley lines, we have seen some players have a hard time doing so. We have the center base that can be very exposed. Likewise, you spread yourselves a little bit more thin, a little bit more spread out. It can be difficult to maintain your fringe bases. So ByuN's like, you know what? On ley lines, it's not worth it. Let's go for the proxy. Let's go. Of course, the gas is taken back at home. herO, for the time being, is in the dark. He's unaware. It is not uncommon for herO not to probe scout. So without a probe scout, herO is in the dark. And herO is going to get caught with his pants down. Oh, as we're going proxy marauder. Okay, my apologies. Proxy marauder is on the way. And I am getting say flashbacks. I'm getting from 2024. If you remember, herO versus Cure in the quarterfinals. It was on Golden Aura. Cure, he went proxy marauder like this. herO didn't scout. herO, he panicked in his response. If you remember, I think he got like a robo. He got a Twilight Council canceled it. Got a robo. Like he did a bunch of cancellations. Like he was like panicking. The trauma. He had a very shaky response to Cure. And herO, he does not scout across the map. So 0 scouting out of herO. Sorry, I think it's a Cure. 0 scouting out of herO. herO, he has no idea what's happening. As a result, no safety shield battery. Does go gate into Twilight Council. There's no second gateway. And I think ByuN should just break this. Yep, does force a cancel. There's no defending the natural. Again, the very late shield batteries, bunkers on the way. Boys are being pulled. And already so much damage being dealt here. But he needs more. Oh, barely doesn't get the Stalker. Nice control out of herO. Oh, he barely pulled that out. Oh, he will lose the Stalker. herO, he'll lose 1. But he will defend the ramp. He defends the ramp. Shield battery is up. herO, he's surviving, and ByuN, does he expand from here? Do we double down? What's the plan? We expand. He's floating back home. Marauders are here to contain, and ByuN should be getting a command center. Oh, factory into CC. Never mind. But ByuN, he's transitioning. Now the question becomes, does herO turn this into a 1-base all-in? Station moves out. Does scout the army. We'll see if herO gets a 3rd gateway. Zero, oh, my apologies. Here he did scout across the map. He did confirm the CC was on the way. He confirmed the high ground setup here from ByuN. Here he does find the abandoned proxy locations. And here expands. Okay, so we're going to build up in towards the mid game. We're going to try to macro out of this. We'll see what kind of damage herO can get done here, and we'll see if herO can contain ByuN and delay his own natural. So we have a bit of a back and forth. herO moves out. With the help of the Immortal with a hallucination, he could try. There we go, there's a hallucinated Colossus. He can go for the depots. Gets one. Up. One sentry goes down. Nice pick off out of ByuN. Nice pick up. Scans for the Observer. Barely does get it. Nice scan. Oh, can he get the sentry? Oh, barely not. Sentry does survive. And now with the tank, yeah, ByuN holds. ByuN he holds. He's on the way. I mean, herO had no intention of pushing up the ramp. Just to contain, and ByuN has broken free from the contain. It's broken free. herO has to get the hell out of there. And herO double expands. Makes sense. Natural straight into the third base. Again, we got a lot of recovering to do from the side of herO. Likewise, ByuN, he scans for another observer. Both observers go down. And actually done here by ByuN. Getting to sim, building up more tanks. Now, after the proxy, after the start of the game, I assumed that we were going to be having a shorter one here. Is ByuN going to slow things down? Ah, he's moving out. The observer does spot the move out. ByuN is pushing. herO, he's somewhat aware. There's a scan. Getting the probe. And probe does hold. herO trying to get in position. But again, here he barely has an army. Charge is almost done. He needs more zealots. He needs more warpins. Here he can't afford to lose his third. Not like this, not anymore. Yeah, shields is triggered. Massive tank shelter on the Stalkers. Stalkers are going down. The first tank will fall, but there's still one tank left. And ByuN, he's breaking through. He's barely breaking that main army. But the Immortals defend. The Immortals, they barely do defend. herO holds. Here he holds on. We have the Bay behind this. Forge is on the way for +1. Bay for Colossus. And he backs up with his main army, followed by the Observer. Drop into the main. Oh, Observer gets caught once again. ByuN, he's crazy. That's the third Observer getting sniped. Nice drop into the main. Ooh, does he power everything? Delays +1. Tanks, they move back in. herO's out of position. Yeah, he's out of position. The boys are being pulled. Probes are going to be going down. Massive losses for herO. ByuN, he will get the expansion. Yeah, Nexus goes down. And herO's being pulled apart. He's being pulled apart here. Oh, good. Another Immortal falls. And another. And that should be game. That should be game. Losing all three Immortals, losing the expansion, 11 probes, delayed upgrades. There's now so much in favor of ByuN. Just jump in. As here is gonna try to hold. I mean, this is his army, all right? We got 1 Colossus. We got how many zealots? 5. Sorry, 7. We got 7 zealots. We got a Colossus. Let's go, baby. Let's go. ByuN could just dive on the Colossus as well. He can just stim in. Now playing it safe. Kites back to the Wooden Mines. Mine just going off. Zealots go down, and now he can step forward. Again, it's just like, we can do it, ByuN. I believe in you. Does pull away here. He defends it once again with the bare minimum. He's surviving. And ByuN plays it safe. He plays it safe, pulls away, tops up his army. This force definitely could have stemmed forward to kill the Colossus, but again, ByuN playing it safe. Didn't know what was behind it. Oh, no shot, we just back off and turtle up. No shot. Okay, we're moving on. Okay, spotted by the observer. Here he's built up to 2 Colossus. Second Colossus has arrived. Oh. ByuN thinks better of it. Waiting for his ghost, waiting for his EMPs. Once again, scans through the observer. That's the 4th scan. That's the 4th observer. Scan pulls away. What I will say is that ByuN, I mean, he's going to be the first to max out. And once he does, like, he should be more assertive here. Should be. Nice drop. Once again, gets into the mineral line. 6 more probe kills. Here, he's just going for it. Yeah, he's just committing. Massive EMPs. Covers the entire army. EMPs are brutal. Boys are being pulled. The army does clump against the Colossus. It's a lot of value out of the Colossi. But alas, ByuN should still have too much. Yeah, slides the first Colossus. Sims forward, getting on top of the second. And here he will lose everything. GG gets called. ByuN, he will take a 2-1 lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. ByuN, who will take the lead. Again, he had a very strong start here. ByuN, I mean, to be able to go for the proxy robo, to be able to deny to be able to force a cancellation on an almost complete natural base. Here had a really rough start. Likewise, here he tried to double expand in the aftermath and he lost the 3rd base. That should have been game then and there. ByuN, he had the potential to break the Colossus army, but again, he was a little bit more tentative, a little bit more defensive in his approach, a little bit just safer in his approach. He backed off, but he still had a lead, still maintained the lead. GG. GG, well played. And here he is punished for not probe scouting. Again, he chose not to probe scout at all last game, was punished for it, and now we're getting to game number 4, and we'll see if ByuN can close it out. Let's go. As we're loading into White Rabbit. Okay, this is going to be an interesting one. Oh boy. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Shopify, leading the series 2-1. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss representing T1. It is herO. Let's go. Let's welcome one and all to game number 4. Welcome to White Rabbits. White Rabbit aesthetically is really nice. As a map itself, I'm not too fond of it, I'll be honest. But this time herO actually scouts. Remember, last game, 0 scouting out of herO and he got punished. This time, immediately. He immediately moves out to confirm the Rax location. ByuN, he does actually go towards the left-hand side. He avoids the main scouting pattern, and I believe we're going for the eBay block. Rax is back at home. No proxy, but a block nonetheless. And we'll see if herO can get eyes on it and shut it down. Yep, he does. He immediately does pull the boy. eBay is spotted, probes are being pulled, and this eBay should be cancelled. So nice scouting, nice reaction here by herO. This time his early game is much more on point, much more solid. And again, welcome to White Rabbits. White Rabbits, of course, is a reference to the Matrix, so that's why I mentioned it aesthetically. It's quite nice with the black and green, with the name itself. But the map itself is very large. It's a very large map, very macro-oriented as well. You have a much more secure natural third and fourth base. What I will say about the 4-base setup here is that your third and fourth base are a little bit spread out. They are further away, so rotations defensively are a little bit longer. Likewise, there's this wide ramp in between to try to rotate and try to catch an opponent off guard and try to punish a rotating army that's maybe out of position. That is true. At the same time, I will say that rotations, aggressive rotations from the opposing army is a little bit more difficult here. They have to knock down these rocks. Rocks have to be knocked down, the map has to be opened up. Without that, rotations do take a longer time actually. Likewise, even the terrain here can be a little bit awkward. The terrain here also allows for like siege positions and you can like encroach upon the opposing side. It's an interesting setup for sure. It is interesting. I'm curious to see how it plays when it comes to TLMC. I'm curious. For now, we just see ByuN setting up. Going to be a Twilight Council opener out of herO. And likewise, ByuN going for his own 1/1/1. And again, CC on the high ground will not be delayed, will not be disrupted. When it comes to the map itself, if ByuN were to try to get into a longer macro game, I do think that this map will still be favoring him more so than Taito Citadel. Unlike that map, there's no goal bases, there's no like massive advantage here, or there's not as much of an advantage for gaining map control. As Reaper does go down, we do see 3-gate blink out of herO. Are we tempted to go for more than that? So far as 3 gateways. The Undertake is natural, Robo is on the way. We'll see if it's just 3-gate blink into a third base or if herO plans on committing a little bit harder. So ByuN is fanning out. herO being very safe, getting a shield battery, staying on 3 gates, which means we should be working towards the expansion. He's getting an extra gas geyser. He could also get another gas geyser as well and work towards storm. I don't know if it's necessary to be this safe though, especially on a larger map like White Rabbit. On a smaller map, 100%. As ByuN does sneak out, he does move out with his first tank. Okay, never mind. He does pick up, does move out with our tank. Very committed here by ByuN. He does push. And here he's rotating from the main. The tank will attempt to siege. Going for the shield battery. Shield battery does fall. Boys are being pulled. Does get the medevac. And here he will clean this up. It takes down the medevac. The tanks. GG gets called. ByuN gets completely shut down here. And herO takes the game. GG. Ay. ByuN committing quite hard to that. Behind it, he was getting extra raxes, but for him to lose everything and for only to get a shield battery, that is brutal. That is brutal there. So ByuN, he was committed. I was getting ready for a long game. I'll be honest. I was like, okay, we're gonna settle in. We're gonna get a third base. We're gonna get a fourth. No. ByuN, he committed that much harder there, and yeah, he didn't get any damage he was hoping for. GG. I was being a little bit critical of herO. I was like, yo, are we playing too safe? Apparently not. I was like, Pappy, we can be a little bit greedier here. It's like, no, the safe play did work out very nicely there for herO. Was able to shut down any form of aggression, and ByuN happened to commit. We're going to the ace match. We're going to the ace match here. We are loading into Ruby Rock. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we do have the South Korean Terran. We have the Red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion being forced into the ace match. Hello, it is ByuN. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing T1. It is herO. And this is a very early move out of herO. He is going to be going in, and we spoke about this earlier on ley lines. herO, he did not scout at all. He got punished. Here, herO, he's terrified. Like, these are really early scouts. He goes in, he disrupts the opener, he ensures that, hey, the racks better be at home. Okay, herO. Speaking of, the racks gets thrown down further back, and herO, he barely doesn't scout. Okay, the mind games here. ByuN going for the hidden racks further in the main. And herO, does he overreact? Oh. He wants the SCV. Pulls away. He will be able to confirm the lack of racks. Man, he's like, yo, where are you? And ByuN's like, oh, you better get ready at home. You better get ready for the cheese. So is it curious? That is herO's laughing. That's like the laughing, not emoji, but like the character. ByuN with the TT response. Essentially, it's like GG, right? Checking the vision though. herO, he doesn't scout the racks, but he does scout the CC. Okay. So he scouts command center. The Reaper is about to reveal that he knows. Yeah, the Reaper's back at home, and now herO is fully aware that the Reaper was on his side of the map. herO himself does go for a bit of a delayed start. Made the Zealot. Did make the Zealot here. He's going to be moving out across the map, but he shouldn't really find too much damage here, and he's going for a Stargate before expansion. Okay, let's go. So delayed Nexus for herO. Faster Stargate, faster Oracle Harass, I would imagine. And there's going to be a lot of pressure on herO to get some damage done early on to make this worth it. So the pressure's on herO. Why did ByuN GG there? ByuN could have killed a lot of probes, and that would have been worth it, right? Oh, well, ByuN would not have killed it. He lost everything, man. He lost everything. ByuN was very committed to his early push. He was very committed, and he lost everything. He lost the tank, he lost the medevacs, he lost the cyclones, he was about to lose all the marines. It was a very dedicated move out, and it wasn't just that he would lose the army, but he would be vulnerable to a counterattack. Basically, ByuN, he traded too poorly. He traded too poorly with how committed he was, which meant that was game then and there. As the assumption was that herO would just counterattack immediately. So, and ByuN was that much more dedicated to it. I'm tentative to call what ByuN did last game an all-in. Like, technically it failed, so he lost, but it's more about just how poorly that fight went for him. As Oracle gets in, 3 SCVs. Gets 3 SCV kills. So nice damage so far. Meanwhile, ByuN commits into a triple with a mind drop. And likewise has been spotted. The Oracle can shut this down. Sorry, Oracle? Sorry, I meant to say Phoenix. And the Woodmine drop is completely denied. Oh. Do we try to be cheeky? Can we kill the Phoenix? I don't think so. getting low. Oh my god. Medevac barely gets away. Just barely. And with that, herO takes the third base. He claims his third base. Behind this, it was 3 gates. 3 gates into, sorry, 4 gateways into Blink. But again, this is kind of like a delayed 4-gate setup. There's no robo. There's no detection. There's no prism. There's no robo production. But we're building up. I would imagine this is in reference to the lack of Widowmine drop. Well done. Let's just shade in. Getting a handful more SCVs. Here he does move out, does contain. Remember, here he does have 4 gates behind this, so he has an excess of stalkers containing ByuN. And it does blink in. A little bit bold here, going for Stim. They have 1 more volley. Stim barely does go down. Was that worth it though? That's a lot of dead stalkers. As here it barely does blink away. Does what? 4 stalkers going down, but this will contain ByuN. So ByuN is contained, a third TC gets thrown down, ByuN is building up towards a longer game state, and welcome one and all to Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock, I would say, is a more aggressive map of the map pool. Defending on 3 bases is going to be more difficult. Oh my god! Mine just going off. 5 pro kills, very nice. 5 pros go down. herO otherwise distracted, a messy defense here out of herO. So we have a back and forth. herO, he contains ByuN, he delays his push, he does force out a third base. At the same time though, will take a lot of damage himself. Does take some worker kills, makes up for the otherwise Oracle harassment we've been seeing before. Widowmines are saved as well. But herO should shut this down. Oh! Boosting back over. Headed for the natural. Getting 1 more probe. Phoenix has arrived. Stalkers as well, but I would say that this drop has paid for itself. What, 5 in the main, 1 in the natural, 6 in total. I'll say successful Widowmine drop. As ByuN goes for another mine drop. Oh, okay. It is a little bit more uncommon to see mine drops this late in the game just because there's that much more anti-air for herO, but bold move. Here he dives in, he gets the tank. No, the tank goes down. Massive pickup. Takes down the tank, takes down the Cyclone. Here he has to back up. Does pull away. Picking up more Marines. Remember, Stim is not done. Oh god, these are vanilla Marines. They trade so poorly. Mine drop into the main base, and herO doesn't react this time. The answer is no. Oh, late reaction. Oh my god, 9 probe kills. Critical damage in the main. Twice avoids Widowmine in the natural. But this bio army is still being abused. Again, no Stim. Like, we need to emphasize, 0 upgrades. He has combat shields, that's all he has. And ByuN's main army is being bullied. The boys are being pulled, and this might just be too much. Elazer break through the SCVs, getting some of the Marines. Stalkers, they can trade well against the bio. They blink. Down to 3 Marines, down to 2. Oh my god. ByuN barely holding on. And even though he's been dealing some damage across the map, he just lost 11 SCVs, and he lost most of his main army. And finally, Stim is at 9 minutes. 9 minutes Stim timing. Let's go. Oh god. And now he can fight. Now with Stim, now he can hold his own. Now he can fight against the Blink Stalkers. He finally has his upgrades. herO moving out once again. Ooh, and while herO distracts, Zealot run by. Yeah, ByuN's out of position. ByuN is out of position. You can see him being stimmed back and forth. He's being pulled apart. Stalkers, they go back in. They keep distracting. And Zell's they do catch reinforcements. They get into the mineral lines. More SCV's going to be falling down. CC is denied. And ByuN is trying to keep up. Losing 5 SCVs. Does he lose the CC? Enough! One more volley. He gets it. Oh my god. Kills the third base. ByuN, he can't expand. Dusk goes here extra stalkers. Has a low stalkers falling, and ByuN at this point he may just be all in. What does ByuN have? ByuN, he has 1/1 upgrades, he has stim, combat shields, concussive shell. He's sending it. Yeah, the boys are being pulled. Boys are being pulled. He's completely all in. ByuN, he has no future in this game. He has to end it. Behind this Colossus. Ooh, Colossus is on the way. How many? One. There's going to be one Colossus to defend. Is one Colossus enough? Oh, brutal force fields. He looks down the army. Zealous collapse on the forces as well. The Colossus is safe. Yeah, he just melts the army. Just melts on through. SCVs are just annihilated. The force fields are brutal. And GG gets called herO. He will shut down the main army. He will claim the series 3-2 and become this week's WardiTV Monday champion. GG. Whew. GG, well played again. Force fields ensured that ByuN could only fight with half his army at a time. Likewise, the Colossus did pop out in time as well for some massive splash damage on the army as well. And again, ByuN, he was forced all in. It all just snowballed out of control from the initial denial of stim. Not just that, but also ByuN being a little bit too overly aggressive and overly eager. Winding it back here, when herO initially denied stim, it was a nice pickoff, that's true. But ByuN did something that he's known for. If you watch ByuN, especially in TVZ, he's known for these like ByuN pushes. What a ByuN push is pushing pre-stim. It's the idea of moving out. It's the idea of moving out with your army, and the idea of hitting your stim timing as the army gets across the map. As the army gets across the map to your opponent's bases. It is really risky to do, but it does mean that you can potentially catch out and catch your opponent that much faster and have a crisper timing with your stim. The downside, of course, is that as you're moving out across the map, you're exposed, right? Your army is vulnerable, your army is lackluster, and it can be abused in such a way. So he was pushing pre-stim. He was pushing when stim was halfway done, and he was punished for it, right? He was punished for it. He got caught out in the center. His tank went down, his cycle went down. He lost all his marines, and that led into him being bullied all the way back home, being forced to pull the boys, and losing all the momentum that he once had, right? Losing momentum, losing control, and that just snowballed out of control into eventually the win for herO. GG. GG, well played. Aye. And with that, congratulations here to herO, as it does claim the series is going to be this week's WardiTV Monday champion. Congratulations. Here we go. ByuN's army supply is worrying though. It was a big army. It was big. It's big. But with that, we are going to be wrapping up here for today's broadcast. Again, this was a catch-up stream. As I mentioned before, when it comes to our regular schedule, we usually cast this event live. But with daylight savings hitting the European time zone, it does mean that this starts very late in Australia. They used to start at like around 9 or 10 p.m. Now it's starting at midnight or like 11 p.m. So it's starting very, very, very late in Australia, to the point where I can't really cover it anymore. So we have stopped covering this live for the past 2 weeks, and we are going to be catching up via replays instead. So most likely, like a couple days later, whether it's on Wednesday or Thursday, we will be having these WardiTV Monday catch-up streams, replay casts instead. That is the plan. We might be able to cover the Monday night weeklies live instead. We'll see how we adjust. But yeah, daylight savings in Europe is brutal. It's means it's much later for us, much later. So that is how we will adjust. Otherwise, thanks for watching. As you can see here, we've had a very busy schedule here, and this schedule has changed over the past couple of hours. So originally the plan was we were going to be covering the WardiTV Monday here this morning. We'll have this evening off, as we've been casting 2 events a day every single day this week, into KSL tomorrow, Sea Duckling Open, Picasso Cup, and then Tuna Cup on Sunday. That was the plan. as we're here on Friday. We're on Friday currently when it comes to our weekly schedule. But we were notified, we were contacted last night. We were contacted by the organizer of Stellarfest. Stellarfest is an event happening in Canada. It's an offline event happening in Canada, and apparently they need a stream. They need a B stream. They need a B stream for tomorrow's cast. We're like, okay. So we'll have to update the schedule. The current plan here is to be the B stream for tomorrow's Stellarfest, and most likely that means that we will not be able to cast KSL. The Korean StarCraft League, I don't think it clashes with the event, but it goes Stellarfest right into KSL. And sleep would be nice. Stellarfest is going to be like an 8-hour cast. It's going to be a big event. So the likelihood of me being able to cover both while being coherent and actually having a stable mind to cover KSL, I don't think it'd be a good cast. So most likely we're going to do KSL via replays later on next week. So next week we'll have a KSL replay cast, just because we're going to be covering Stellarfest tomorrow as the B stream. So we do have a bit of an adjustment. For those who are curious, Stellarfest, it begins at 5 a.m. here, so it's going to be very early. It begins at 1 p.m. I believe Canadian time. So 1 p.m. Canadian time, 5 a.m. here, and it'll be like probably like around an 8-hour cast. I'm still not entirely certain what the schedule is going to be like, just because it's all been last minute. But yeah, we'll step in. We'll cast some StarCraft. Let's go. We'll be okay. Last minute B stream. But that'll be the plan. But otherwise, with that, we're going to be wrapping up. We are going to be wrapping up here for the time being. So thanks so much. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for some Stellarfest. This evening, I'm probably just going to try to sleep as much as I can, just because it's going to be very late cast for Stellarfest. So I'm going to try to sleep as much as possible to get ready for the weekend, to get ready for some more casting. But otherwise, thanks for watching. If you want to tune in, if you want to support us any further, you can do so by following us on YouTube. !socials in the chat, and we are live on a daily basis. We do upload on YouTube on a daily basis as well, so plenty of content over on YouTube. Otherwise, you can support us on Patreon. !Patreon in the chat as well. Our Patreon is designed to fund our tournaments on a regular basis. Every single week we do host open cups, and the Patreon does fund those open cups. So if you want to help us grow our tournaments, Patreon is the place to be. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Get some rest. I will. I'm gonna go get some breakfast, and then I'm gonna get some sleep. And we'll do our best tomorrow. We'll do our best. Hopefully we'll be well rested. Hopefully. Cats. Yes. Exactly. But otherwise, thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for some Stellarfest, for some Ducklings Open, and for some more StarCraft. As always, take care, everyone. Take care. Again, there's a big offline event happening in Canada over the weekend. Whether we're going to be a part of it or not, especially for the final days, do check it out. It's going to be amazing. Going to be a lot of fun. Players like Lambo and Hearthstone have traveled to Canada to compete. I think Clem is there as well. There's like a couple of, and Zound, right? It's like Clem, Zound, Hearthstone, Lambo, Scarlet is there. True, Scarlet is there. Big event happening in Canada. Yeah, Clem and ByuN. Oh, true. ByuN also going to be there as well. And Trigger. All the boys. All the big boys will be there. But otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. Until then, ciao. Bye, ciao. See you tomorrow. Hasta luego.